Hey coaches, and welcome to my channel where I discuss the Perfect Play football system. The Perfect Play football system is a modern day spread offensive system that will always put your offense in the perfect play regardless of the situation and the defensive alignment. My last video I discussed training the quarterback to read and to throw the bubble screen to the field out of trips formation by running zone into the boundary. Today we're going to talk about the topic of training the quarterback how to read the boundary side of the zone. So we could either be going zone left into the boundary or zone right in the situation that we're going to talk about today. Here's my contact information. Please follow me on Twitter. Refer to my blog where I discuss leadership. You can always get in contact with me through perfectplayfootball@gmail.com. So let's look at the big picture here first of what we're trying to do. This ball placement is in the middle of the field, so it's a little different than what we're going to be discussing. In other words, this side is what we're going to deal with today. This formation or this example is zone to the left with our bubble screen to the field out of trips formation. And I'm not going to go into the detail of how to block it and what we do in our rules because I did that in previous videos. But you can see we're in the pistol. Quarterback knows the ball needs to go on the perimeter. So we're running zone left. Make a call to block the backside. He delivers the ball. We get our blocks and the ball's on the edge and we're down the field. So today we're going to deal with this side of that play. All right, so let's look at the drawing. This is how we're going to, what we're trying to do is run zone. This would be zone to the right, basically, in what we've got going on with this drill. And we're looking at a one-on-one situation versus middle open. We see the jack, which is the boundary safety. He's also the low hole player. And we have middle open and free safety over here with trips. All right, we're only going to work this side of the formation, the one-on-one with X. And as in previous videos, I discussed that the X is our best receiver. In this case, this could be one-on-one with middle open, zone right. We have a coach here that is giving the quarterback a 5-technique read. So this coach could be playing squeezing, because it is zone right. He could be coming upfield into the quarterback's face with the mesh charge. He'll give the quarterback different looks. This coach, the three blue dots here, the circles, 3 blue circles, represent stand-up bags. This coach is the running back coach, and he is in charge of giving the F a read, because we're running zone. F will drop step, get on the midline path. He has the right of way. The quarterback gets out of the way and he approaches the crack of the quarterback, crack of the center, and will make his cut. This coach will slant, push the bag, either lean it this gap or he will lean it to this gap, and as the running back approaches, if he's given the ball, and even if he's not, he's going to perform the read regardless. This coach is the running back coach, and he is in charge of making sure that we have a good clean mesh and that the running back approaches downhill, stays on the midline, the crack of the quarterback, the crack of the center, and then this coach will lean the bag. If he covers this gap, then the running back will cut to this gap. If the coach leans the bag to this gap, then the running back, as he approaches, will cut to this gap. So he's working on his reading cloudy and clear, making his cut to the proper gap. This coach, as I've already mentioned, is giving the quarterback his read. He is the quarterback coach in terms of making sure the quarterback does the right thing. The receiver coach will be standing over here, observing the receivers, make sure they get the proper stem, cut, and read of what they're doing. Now, when we run a slant, it is very important to understand that the angle of the slant, which is the angle after the stem of the route, will be based on the low hole defender. If it is middle open, the jack is high, then the angle will be short or low. All right. If the jack's in a different location, which I'll show you in the next picture, then we will adjust it. But the key is the angle of the slant will always be based on the shoulder, the near shoulder of the closest inside defender. So if this is the jack, he's responsible for run. He has to come down on a run fit. He will bend this route based on where the jack is and where he will be going. Right now we're going to work in this picture. He's staying high, so the angle is flat. Okay, he's staying away from the jack. The quarterback executes the read pass, throws the ball, hands off to the running back, pulls it, runs the throw, and we go from there. The other picture I want to show you very quickly is the same drill, but now we're zone right with the slant route, and this is one-on-one situation versus middle closed. So now we've moved the free safety into this area, middle closed. So the jack boundary safety is now the low hold defender. He's like an outside linebacker. This is more of a 4-4 look, a goal line situation maybe, something where it is middle closed. These three are over here covering those three. They're dead on the drill. We're working the single receiver into the boundary. So now you see the angle of the slant is very different than the previous picture because there is a low hold defender, and we do not want to run our slant angle into him. If we do that, that can lead to a couple of bad things. It could lead to a turnover. It could lead to a knockout hit by the jack linebacker on our receiver. So we want to stay away. So we're going to make this a little skinny. It could actually be skinnier than what it's drawn up here. It may end up being up in this area. So it could end up being a little bit skinnier like that, right? Depending on the down and or the field position where you are on the field. So that's how we're going to train it. That's how we're going to run it. Let's look at what happens when we execute. Now this is a goal line situation here. So we have trips to the field. Can't see it, but there are trips in this 3-on-3 goal line situation. So it's man to man. This is going to be zone left as well. Now this is a little different than the drill because we're making this a front side read instead of a back side read. But if it would be the same thing if he put his butt this way if it were zone right and he's running his slant. All right, so we look up top. We've got a one-on-one with lots of green grass right here that we want to get the ball to and get our receiver to. Once again, this is our best receiver running this route. He sets up the defender, puts his foot in the ground, and takes his angle, and he avoids the first inside defender based on his angle of the slant. So he wants to stay away from this linebacker, stay away from this free safety, and that's where he's running his route to. Now the quarterback, as you see here, once again, it's a little different. There's a trick to this that I'm not going to get into now, but this is a front side read out of the pistol instead of a backside read. So that makes it look a little bit different than the drawing I had. So now, how do we put these drills together? If you have enough people, if you have enough coaches, you have enough players, you can have one group going with trips, working what's going on to the field, okay, and then you can have another group working what's going on into the boundary. So if you have enough running backs and coaches to have these two different drills set up, you can do this and get multiple looks to the field and to the boundary. So once again, you can set up, this is zone, so if you don't have enough coaches, you can have a backup running back or another player do the part of the coach here and lean the bag in different directions. So you have one group working to the field, you have another group working into the boundary. That gets lots of bodies in motion, which I always love to have at practice. Don't like to have a lot of standing around. Gives them time to talk and complain about the coaches, so we don't want that. So get the bodies moving, get the players moving, work on their techniques, work on their reads, emphasize the fundamentals, and you end up having a much more efficient practice. You can get a lot more done in a lot less time. So once again, you can combine the two drills that we've talked about. That concludes the video for today. Once again, here's my contact information. Thank you for watching the video. Please give me a thumbs up, make comments down below, and bang that bell for those notifications. Thank you, coaches. Score points and have a good time.